Hello everybody, welcome back to the Chalkboard, here with bloggingtheboys.com. I am Joey Ickes and we're here at the Chalkboard today to talk one last time about the read option. Today we're going to talk about defending the read option and what these defenses can do to try to slow down these dynamic offenses that are running this scheme to try to give themselves a chance as offenses try to take advantage of indecision and things like that. I've got our offense and our defense here drawn in the similar sets to what we've seen before when we talk about the read option. We've got an offense in base personnel, or 21 personnel, however you want to think about it. 2 backs, a tight end, 2 wide receivers. We've got a 4-3 defense on the field, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 defensive backs aligned in an over front, 3 technique defensive tackle here, will linebacker up here following the 3 technique. One of the biggest things that you'll notice when you look at this is that I've got the Mike linebacker drawn incredibly deep. This is something that I picked up during some pretty extensive film study that I did on the read option to try to get ready for this. This is a technique that was used by the St. Louis Rams, who played the 49ers extremely tough twice, tied them in overtime one game, beat them in another game. Then they also beat the Washington Redskins early in the season. They use this technique, and we'll talk a little bit about why I think they use this technique and why it's important for me and why I think that it's something that they used. It looked to me when I watched the film like this was what they called an automatic. What that means for a defense is that when the offense comes out in a certain look, a certain formation, we're going to automatically change whatever defense we're in to a different defense. Sometimes teams will do it when a quarterback comes out and he's in an empty set in the backfield by himself. He's got 5 wide receivers or 4 and a tight end or something like that. A lot of teams will automatically check into a cover 0 6-man pressure scheme. What that allows them to do is it allows them to put 6 people in pursuit of the quarterback, and the offense only has 5 blockers in place. What this automatic allows them to do is it allows the middle linebacker to take 3 steps back, line up at 8 yards deep instead of 5, which gives him the ability to trust his instincts and react to the play without getting him in a bad position if something happens opposite of what his instincts tell him. Because that's kind of what this whole read option thing is made to do. It's made to make you hesitate. So it's made to make you move forward and then not know which way you need to go because the ball can come out either way. Or it's made to make you move forward and toss the ball right behind you on the play action like we talked about before. So what this allows him to do is it allows him to step up in pursuit as soon as he reads that the possibility is run. So he's able to step up and use those instincts and become a part of the run front as soon as it happens, as soon as he sees run, without getting him out of position if the play action comes. So quarterback lines up in a pistol look, middle linebacker drops back 3 additional yards. So he's able to come forward when he sees the ball go out into the belly of the running back. He's able to step forward, become a part of the run front, but it also doesn't take him out of the play here in the belly of the defense for any slants or crossing routes or stick routes or anything like that that might happen. Allows him to still be a part of the pass defense while allowing himself to make himself a part of the run defense when he sees run and when the ball comes out. So that's part 1. Middle linebacker lines up 3 yards deeper at 8 yards depth. Part 2 starts with this defensive end, this end man on the line of scrimmage. This is the guy who the offense is reading, the guy who they're leaving unblocked. So we've got our offense blocking this way in kind of a zone pattern here. This guy's left unblocked. So the offense is designed, as we talked about before, to read whatever he does, and no matter what he does, they're going to make him wrong. So if he goes up the field to get contained or to rush here to the quarterback, they're going to hand the ball off underneath. They're going to cut the ball back here. They're going to have a numbers advantage here on the front side over here to the run play. And they're going to be able to get yardage based on that numbers advantage. If he tries to come down the line of scrimmage and pursue the run, the quarterback's able to keep the ball, come around the corner. You're able to get the weak side linebacker blocked with the arc block coming around, and you're able to get a really great athlete, perhaps an Olympic level athlete, an RG3, out in open space, ready to try to make a big play. So the answer to this, you'll hear a lot of people talk about, well, you got to hit the quarterback every single play. You got to just knock the quarterback out until he doesn't get up again. Frankly, I think there's a little bit of merit to that, but I think there's more to that. It can't just be go hit the quarterback. You got to know where your aim point is, why you're doing it. There's got to be no hesitation in your mind about what you're doing. So it's, a lot of people will say, hit the quarterback, play assignment sound football, play disciplined football. That's how traditionally the triple option attacks in college were defended. Somebody takes the dive, somebody takes the quarterback, somebody takes the pitch man. It's not too dissimilar here, except with this read option stuff, there's enough deception involved with the way the blockers are moving in either direction that it can cloud that picture a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to clean it up. So when this guy opens up, mesh point happens, middle linebacker begins to step up into the run front. Defensive end is here, and he's coming around the corner, and the point that you want him to attack is when the quarterback's got the ball in the belly of the running back coming towards you. I want the defensive end to attack the upfield arm. So I want him to attack, if he's turned and he's turned to his right, I want him to attack that right hand on the upfield arm, the arm towards the running back. Now why the upfield arm? I say the upfield arm because if the quarterback then takes a step back to get himself into passing position for a play action pass, you're in position and you're in a route to then still be able to pressure the quarterback and rush his decision. So you're coming here and you're attacking quickly that upfield shoulder. The importance of attacking it quickly is you want to speed up his read. This is something that the Baltimore Ravens were able to do very well in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. They rushed Kaepernick's read and he made some bad decisions. He chose to give when he should have kept. He chose to keep when he should have given, mainly because he was rushed. He didn't have time to make his clean read, really ride the mesh point, pull the ball out or leave the ball in. It was ball goes out, this guy's coming quick, I gotta give. Or ball comes out, this guy's coming, I gotta get the ball out and go. You gotta rush that decision at this point because that's gonna cause him to, if he hesitates, it's a broken play immediately because you're on top of him. And if he doesn't hesitate and he makes the decision and snap decision, you're making it a harder decision for him because you don't give him as much time to see what's going on. So here I'm coming here and I'm not going down the line of scrimmage, but I'm also not coming up the field. I'm splitting the difference, attacking the upfield shoulder, the upfield arm, and really rushing that read. So now what ends up happening is you end up with your 6-on-6 over here. So what becomes ultra important is your run support from your safeties and your cornerbacks. And this is something that's going to happen whether the quarterback keeps it or he gives it. You've got to have help. One thing you'll hear talked about a lot in this Tampa 2 scheme, this Monty Kiffin scheme, is these cornerbacks have to be able to tackle. They have to be able to funnel the run. They're what's called the force player. So a lot of times against zone running schemes, guys will attack actually the inside shoulder from the inside. They'll attack the inside shoulder of the offensive lineman and spill the run play to the outside. They want to keep him from being able to cut. So once he gets the ball here, these guys want to spill it here and make him go parallel rather than giving him a lane to cut up field in. So then the force player's responsibility is to be the guy who stops that situation. So he's going to be there, he's going to read his run pass key. If this guy comes here and he's trying to block him, he's got to get inside of him and be that force player and present that, keep that ball from getting outside and funnel it back into where everybody is coming from. So he's going to spill the play out, you're going to spill the play out and force the play here. So that's super important on the front side, but it's also really important on the back side. Because if something does happen, if this guy comes through and ends up blocking this guy here, and this quarterback gets the corner, you gotta have this safety in this corner filled quickly. So what you have to do is you have to have eye discipline from your defensive backs. We talked in our play action section of the last video about how the #1 reason that defensive backs get beat in the NFL is lack of eye discipline. They're looking at places they're not supposed to look. They're watching the backfield rather than watching their key from the tight end or the wide receiver that's supposed to be telling them what the play is. So this guy reads his key, and then he's going to fill up here in this alley. And so this alley is really important because this is where that quarterback's going to try to attack if he can get that corner. So one of the techniques that you'll hear about a lot with defending this read option is the scrape exchange, where this guy's going to come down, he's going to attack the line of scrimmage, and this guy's going to scrape around. I think that's something you can use occasionally, but with these arc blocks that these guys are using, where this guy comes around and he's there to block that front side, you're really putting yourself in a bad spot on this front side if the only thing you've got coming from the back side is pursuit over here. Because this will linebacker against a normal inside zone play over here is going to be the guy who makes the tackle. Because the Mike linebacker is going to step up, take on any block at the second level. That will linebacker is going to make the tackle. If you remove him from the play, it becomes very difficult to make this tackle. Because you've got backside support here, great. But on the front side, you got 6 guys blocking 5 guys. That's not a good situation to be in for a defense. So what I want to do is I want to force the give. So by attacking the upfield shoulder of the quarterback, what I want to make him think is, okay, he's upfield, I want to give it. So I want to force the give because I'd rather have Alfred Morris with the ball in here with 6 guys around and a bunch of offensive linemen in his way than I'd rather have Robert Griffin III out here with an opportunity to get in this alley and really cause a bunch of problems for me. So I want to force the give, first of all. I want to attack the quarterback. I want to hit him when I get an opportunity. That means if I'm there just before the mesh happens or just after the mesh happens, I want to get a lick on him. I'm not trying to knock him out of the play or knock him out of the game every single play because I don't want to get dumb penalties. But what I do want to do is I want to get a shot on him when I can. I want to hit him and let him know that he's going to get hit. It doesn't have to be a knockout blow every time, like I said, but I want to let him know that if he decides to keep the ball, he's going to get hit. And he's not going to be able to get that corner because this guy is coming straight for his upfield shoulder. So he's going to have to give a lot of ground or come down inside and give up his ability to get to the corner in order to get past this defensive end. So we got to fill the alley here. We're going to play with a little depth here in order to give him the ability to come be a part of the run front or get back into his cover 2 responsibility if the guy drops back to pass. And then you got to have your backside pursuit, of course, just like any run play. And so generally my thesis on this is if I'm a defensive coordinator, I want to force the give. I want to turn this into a regular running play where my defensive linemen and my linebackers, as well as my defensive backs coming up in support, have an opportunity to make a tackle against just a regular inside zone running play, which is what this turns into after the give. So I'm willing to put this guy in pursuit of the quarterback, make that his assignment, take all of his thoughts out. No matter what, if he's unblocked, he's going to get this quarterback. They may end up coming across and trapping me and handing it off underneath me every once in a while, but I'm okay with that because I got my linebackers and my defensive linemen here with me to help support from the inside. If this quarterback gets outside and gets in this alley, because this guy dove down like DeMarcus Ware did so many times against Washington in Week 17 last year, it's going to be bad news because you got first downs and touchdowns out here. Over here you got 3 or 4 yards. So that's really the important thing. Force the give, get a lick on the quarterback when you can, get a little extra depth with your middle linebacker to allow him to have some flexibility to play with his instincts. Especially a guy like Sean Lee, there's so many times when you watch him on tape that it looks like everybody else on the field is still standing still, and he already knows what the play is, and he's 2 steps on his way to where the play is going. This kind of play is designed to make him hesitate. I don't want to let him hesitate. I want to get him a little bit of depth to allow him to use his instincts and get up to full speed going forward or going backwards if he needs to without taking him out of an opportunity to make a play in the pass game. So that's kind of my thesis. There's been a lot of people on our board and on other boards and in other articles and other videos talk about how you're going to stop this read option look. I think that this allows you to take advantage of having the unblocked man to get a shot on the quarterback. And if they decide to run midline like we talked about before, and let this guy get up to the second level on this linebacker, and this guy get out here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm attacking the mesh point just to the outside shoulder. I want to make him hesitate in his read by not giving him a clear picture of what he wants to do. I don't want to attack up the field, but I also don't want to scrape or don't want to turn and run down the line of scrimmage. I want to go right at the mesh point. I want to attack that mesh point and really get focused and go after him. Again, it might leave this guy open to some trap game stuff like we talked about before, but against a team like this, I would much rather them trap me and hand the ball to Alfred Morris at the middle and let me pursue him for 7, 8, 10 yards than let Robert Griffin III get out here in the alley and break a 60-yarder on me. That's my take on it. I don't know if this is the kind of thing we'll see from Monty Kiffin or from Rod Marinelli or from any other defenses in the NFL, but I know that I saw this technique from Baltimore in the Super Bowl and it worked. And I saw this technique from St. Louis throughout the season and it worked. And I know that this will cause problems for defenses because it's going to rush the mesh point, it's going to rush the decision, it's going to prevent the numbers advantage from being so great on the front side over here, and it's going to leave my middle linebacker in position to be able to make a play on a stick route, to be able to get underneath the seam route, or if this slant route comes, he's going to be in position there also. So it makes the quarterback think a little bit extra because you're not giving him his defined reads that he's looking for. Of course, offensive coordinators will come up with ways to counter this, but for now, for this iteration of what the read option looks like, I think this is probably the best method to go at it with. We'll see if teams use it. We'll see if teams implement things like this. But I think extending the run front by having your corners up tight makes the play have to go wider in order to get to the edge. And by having this guy attack this quarterback and attack this mesh point every single time he gets unblocked, I really think it gives you the opportunity to slow it down. They're going to gain yards, but as we've talked about on the board before, gaining yards doesn't win games. Big plays, scoring points win games because it's very hard to drive 12 plays and 80 yards in the NFL without turning the ball over or making a mistake or having to punt, something like that. So I want to make these guys drive, and that's the same philosophy that Monty Kiffin has. So I think that this is a very, very viable method. I put a lot of work into how I've come up with it. I'll be happy to talk more about it. Any ideas you guys have, hit us in the comments section. Again, thank you for visiting bloggingtheboys.com. If you're checking us on YouTube, go visit us. It's bloggingtheboys.com. As one of our guys, KD, says, it's the most talented group of writers never to have access to a locker room or press conference. And we really strive to be the best Cowboys coverage you can find. So come check us out. Let us know what you think, and we'll be happy to chat with you in the comments and take any ideas that you have. Thank you very much.